Good morning, traders. Welcome to the morning update. Today is the 21st of September. This is Mark Owen speaking, and what a day we have for you today. Yes, it is the big day. It's the Fed's announcement. Will they, won't they increase interest rates? Well, let's see. Don't try and guess what the market's going to do. Wait for it to happen and then take control yourself. Okay, so overnight we had the Bank of Japan speaking and their monetary policy statement. I'll bring to you their announcements, what was said shortly. They kept rates on hold, but there was a key couple of phrases that they've said in there, which should be able to give you confidence in what they're going to do moving forward. However, with the news of the FOMC later this afternoon, this evening I should say, I don't think the full effects will actually take control until after what's happened with the FOMC. And then, last but not least, later on today, we have the RBNZ talking about their rate statement. The forecast is to keep rates the same. However, I wouldn't be surprised to see a reduction in rates between 25 to 35 basis points after what was said in the previous month. Okay, so what did the Bank of Japan say? Well, what we've done is we've extracted a couple of quotes from the statement. The first one is the inflation target, and said it's true that more than 3 years have passed since they deployed QQE, but there's absolutely no change to their commitment to achieve the 2% inflationary target at the earliest date possible. So next comment was the yield curve. So with the yield curve control, they can achieve declines in real interest rates that are most desirable for the economy. And last but not least, the future policy moves. We won't hesitate to adjust monetary policy with an eye on economic and price developments. So what they're saying is what they've actually put in practice so far is working. Should it start to fail for one reason or another, or they start to see adjustments in the economy where it starts to decline and they come back out of inflation and go back to deflation, then what you'll find is they'll probably start adjusting monetary policy, who says significantly, but they'll start adjusting it to accommodate. So their objective is 2%, as with most G7 nations, but don't be surprised if they actually have to let's say up the ante. If we do see the US raise rates, we're probably going to see a decline in stocks short term, which could see a run to the Japanese yen. If we do see any sort of uncertainty in the equity markets, you're going to see a run to the yen, which will then affect obviously exports from Japan. So this is something that you have to watch and understand correlations. Yen is a safe haven. If you see a money flow to yen, then obviously there's going to have to be an adjustment from the Bank of Japan side. Okay, how did the markets take this? Well, this screenshot was literally 5 minutes ago. Well, the Nikkei is having a very buoyant day so far. We'll probably see it come up test the 17,100. That's the big resistance red box there. Now, the question is, what's it going to do when it gets there? So again, rather than try and guess what's going to happen, if it breaks through, fantastic. We know we've got a bit of a free run up to the next level. Until that, if you are intraday traders and you want to get involved, well, fine, that's your choice. But I'm going to sit on the sidelines until we see a clear break one way or the other. Next market we're focusing on is the S&P 500. Obviously, with the FOMC rate statement later on today, we'll probably see some wild swings in the S&P 500. So this is a weekly chart. I'd like to smooth it out because the daily is very choppy, looks very static. So the question is, where are we going to go? Right now we're in the middle of a range. So if we were to trade this, the one thing that we do look at here at Phoenix Blue is buy from support, sell from resistance. Very, very simple rule. Obviously we do have additional rules to that, but in layman's terms, that would be a very simple rule. So I've just highlighted a few areas for you to potentially watch. Obviously, the key area is the 2190 to 2198, I think it is, and then right back down to 2100. So you've got a 100-point zone there of potential movement. So we'll be looking for price failure, either one of those. In the middle, I'm going to stay away. Okay, the dollar index, well, you can see previous announcements we've marked on the charts. with channels and trend lines that are on there. Right now, you can see at roughly 96 to 96.20, you've got clear rejections of the dollar index trying to push through. So rather than trying to forecast which way it's going to go, you've got to appreciate it. There's so many people or traders or money in the market that don't know where the money's going. So they'll be reducing their exposure in the market, whether they were long dollars, short dollars. Yeah, they'll be reducing their exposure. So the market's probably going to get a little bit light this afternoon prior to the announcement. And then once the news comes out, you'll see huge volatile swings. So then hopefully we should get some direction. Dollar yen, well, look, initially when the news was announced, this market actually went down first. So it came down. It tried to break through this support trend line. Then it rallied, came quite up strong to the resistance trend line, and now it's back down to pretty much where it started the day. So look, what you have to take from this information is, initially when they kept rates up at the same, there was a forecast that it was going to be reduced even further. That was taken as bad news, and you could see that it disappointed a little bit because everyone was expecting a weakening of the yen. It didn't come, so the market dropped down. Next thing you know, they're talking about inflationary figures, targets. They're out of deflation, and they'll do what's required in order to get the Japanese economy where it was. Then we saw a devaluation or a selling of yen, but we're not going to really see the full impact, I don't believe, until after the FOMC. So really the dollar's the key driver at the minute, and then everything else is a secondary factor. Now we've got gold. Obviously, again, strong dollar, weak gold, weak dollar, strong gold. There's a very simple rule of thumb that is as well. So we can see that the 1300, 1305 barrier, the green support zone there, has been held numerous times now. The question is it going to hold again today? What is the news going to be? If we see rates held and the statement afterward not so hawkish and typical dove statement from the FOMC, then we'll probably see gold rally and start testing the 1350 trend line. Now, in terms of a technical setup, we are set up technically to go long. Obviously, it's in these kind of situations where sometimes the technicals just get blown out of the water just because of wild swings. Where do you put your stops? So rather than just trying to take the technical trade, let the news happen. If it means that you miss a trade, well then so be it. But if it means that you miss losing some capital, well then that's a perfect reason why not to take the trade. Capital preservation is key. Okay, in terms of charts, that is it from Phoenix Blue today. We've had a very quiet week for trading. It's a week that we forecast that we're going to stay away from the market, and hopefully this week will give us the direction we need leading into next week. If you want to come and meet the Phoenix Blue team, which we'd love to meet you, that's new traders, experienced traders, whatever kind of trader you may be, short-term, long-term, investment, swing trade, day trade, please register for one of our events. Come and meet us. Be nice to meet more traders, share some ideas. Order to do that, go to the website, that's www.phoenixblue.co.uk. Go to events and register. It's free. We do workshops here in London and in Oslo. The next one here in London is this Friday, so that's in 2 days' time. If you're going to struggle for that one, then don't worry. We will be having another one the following month. We have one workshop a month here in London and one workshop currently a month in Norway. We will be going to Singapore shortly. If there's anyone that wants to suggest any locations where we might be able to come meet new traders, then please drop us a comment in the YouTube box. Likes, sharers, pass us on to friends, any other traders that you think might appreciate our information. Okay, traders, have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow morning.